Hello and welcome to the your English News Bulletin. I'm Esther. These are the headlines. 2 NAP personnel posted in the national capital died on the spot due to a bike accident on July 1st. The body of Nagaland MLA and advisor Tushy Wongtong, who passed away after a brief illness in Delhi, arrived at the Dimapur airport today. Leaders of 4 political parties have filed police complaints against Chief Minister Pema Khandu and Union Sports Minister Kiren Rijiju, alleging willful violation of several laws and the Constitution. In an update from the Commissioner of Police's office, Dimapur, the Dimapur police arrested 2 persons, namely Manoj Deb, 48 years old, and Ranjit Debnath, 50 years old, on July 1st for the murder of late Bipul Baroa. The victim succumbed to his injuries in the hospital after severe physical assault by the arrested persons, it was informed. The arrested alleged that the victim had stolen some household items at Old Overbridge area, Burma Camp, Dimapur. On completion of the post-mortem, the body of the victim was handed over to the relatives. A case has been registered at East Police Station, Dimapur, it was informed. In another apprehension, the Dimapur police arrested 1 person, namely Dipankar Chaudhary, on July 1st on criminal charges of stealing a scooty from Sematila area. The stolen scooty was also recovered from his possession. A case has been registered at SBNPS, Dimapur. In another update, the Dimapur police informed that they arrested 8 persons in regard to criminal charges on June 28 for hijacking a truck transporting construction materials and later disposing the stolen goods. 1.32 pistol was also seized and a case has been registered at East Police Station, Dimapur. 2 Naga men in Delhi met with a bike accident and died on the spot in the national capital on the night of July 1st. Speaking to HornbillTV, the former General Secretary of Sumi Students Union Delhi made known that the 2 were personnel from the 7th and 8th NAP posted in Delhi. She informed that they collided with a mini tempo at the Satyamark area of South Delhi, where the driver of the tempo is also seriously injured. Further, it was informed that the bodies of the 2 men will be sent to Nagaland on July 3rd via Indigo Airlines. Leaders of 4 political parties in Arunachal Pradesh have filed police complaints against Chief Minister Pema Khandu and Union Sports Minister Kiren Rijiju, alleging willful violation of several laws and the Constitution, apart from attempting to convert the territory of Arunachal Pradesh. Complaint filed on Thursday at the Kimin police station in Papumpare district pertained to a dispute over renaming Kimin in Assam to Bilgar by the Border Roads Organization during an event on June 17 where Defence Minister Rajnath Singh took 20 kilometers of Kimin. Potin Road was inaugurated, 11 other such projects were also inaugurated. The complaint was filed by People's Party of Arunachal, Kafa Bengya and Kaling Jerang, Janata Dal United's Ruhi Tagung and Riba Pangya Dolo, Congress's Techi Tegi Tara and Gyamartana and Janata Dal Seculars Jarjam Ate. The complainants alleged that Khandu and Rijiju fraudulently violated Article 3 of the Constitution in violation of the Arunachal Pradesh State Act 1987, the Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulation 1873, and the Arunachal Pradesh Land Settlement and Records Act 2000. He also accused the Chief Minister and the Union Minister of illegal attempts to distort or alter the territory of the state, which resulted in communal tension and serious unrest in Kimin. The complainants also alleged that no remedial measures were taken following the Kimin-Potin Road inauguration itinerary and the BRO's information letter to the Deputy Commissioner of Papumpare showing Kimin as Bilgar in Assam. He said that Khandu had admitted in a press briefing on June 21st that he was aware of the white paste accident and told Rijiju, who was travelling with Rajnath Singh. However, none of them have given any statement and explanation till date, the complainant said, accusing the chain of events that he had fraudulent with Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma to hand over Kimin to Assam. Several student organizations, including All Arunachal Pradesh Students' Union and All Nyashi Students' Union, staged protests over the issue. A few days ago, the BRO who built the road had apologized to the people of the state on this issue. The United Naga Tribes Association on Border Areas, or UNTABA, has strongly condemned the unilateral intrusion of the Assam government inside the Naga lands and establishing camps for its armed police and forest personnel. In a press statement, the UNTABA has said that the present imbroglio at Vikotu village under Tirangkong range is a deliberate attempt by the government of Assam to encroach and allow more settlements for the illegal immigrants in the disputed area belts. The association stated that this was nothing new but a systematic approach adopted by the government of Assam over the years to occupy large tracts of Naga lands in the border areas. Tirangkong Range or Disoi Valley and Tiru Reserve Forest fall under the demarcated Sector F under the disputed area belt. As per the interim agreement of 1972, which was reaffirmed in the interim agreement of 1979. The release further informed, in spite of the various interim agreements and periodic meetings between the two states, the government of Assam has been unilaterally engaging itself in establishing new settlements all along the border lines, which propelled the Merapani War in 1984, among other incidents. The association maintained that once again, that as long as the civil suit number 2 of 1988 lies in the Supreme Court for litigation for boundary issues between the two states, the border issue is sub judice, and therefore neither the states have the authority to involve itself to alter the present status quo in any manner. The UNTABA therefore urged the state government of Nagaland as a defendant to immediately adopt necessary steps against the government of Assam in the court of law. Further, the association appealed for the government of Nagaland to initiate and conduct chief ministerial level talks and review all the interim agreements immediately. Lastly, it is also reminded that the historical boundary between Assam and Nagaland is Dodar Ali that runs along Golaghat to Tizit sector, on which the government of Assam has presently constructed roads named Dodar Ali Road. Until and unless the historical fact is considered as an interstate boundary line, the Naga people will go on pursuing the matter persistently, the release maintained. The body of MLA and Advisor Information and Public Relations SCERT village guards Tushy Wongtong, who passed away in New Delhi yesterday on July 1st, arrived here in Dimapur today. Many state legislators, public leaders and various organizations were present at the Dimapur airport to receive the body and pay their last respects after a prayer. The funeral of late Tushy Wongtong is scheduled to take place on July 3rd at 8 a.m. at his residence. On July 1st, a funeral service was also held at Nagaland House, New Delhi, in the presence of Nagaland Chief Minister Nefurio. A drone was spotted over the Indian High Commission in Pakistan's Islamabad over the weekend, prompting India to strongly object to the security breach.
The drone was spotted within the complex during an ongoing event at the mission. People familiar with developments said on condition of anonymity on Friday. Calling it a security breach, India lodged a formal protest over the incident through a not verbal or unsigned diplomatic correspondence, the people cited above said. This comes hours after Border Security Force troops in India spotted a quadcopter from Pakistan trying to enter the Indian territory along the international border from Jammu's Arnia sector early on Friday. The movement of the drone was noticed near the border outpost, Jabowal, intelligence officials said. Spotted at around 4 a.m. in the morning, the spy quadcopter was trying to get into the Indian territory for surveillance of the area, and the border guards fired half a dozen rounds to bring it down. The quadcopter retreated after it was fired at by the BSF personnel, officials said. Alert BSF troops fired at small quadcopter belonging to Pakistan on Friday morning at about 4:25 a.m. as it was trying to cross IB in Arnia sector. Due to this firing, it returned back immediately, BSF said in a statement. NS Jamwal, BSF's Jammu Frontier Inspector General, said they searched the area but it did not find any arms of ammunition. Security measures have been tightened and forces are on high alert after the unprecedented unmanned drone attack on Indian Air Force station on Sunday in Jammu. Two explosive-laden drones crashed into the IAF station at Jammu airport in the early hours of Sunday, in a first where Pakistan-based terrorists are suspected to have used unmanned aerial vehicles in an attack, officials said.
Deputy Commissioner Mokokchung Lima Wawang Jamir, in an order on Thursday, informed that display of vaccination certificate or status of all shopkeepers and business establishment under Mokokchung district will be made mandatory with effect from July 1st. The order further stated that COVID-19 appropriate behaviors like wearing of face mask, social distancing and provision of hand sanitizers, hand washing facilities at all business establishments shall be adhered to at all times without fail. It warned that any persons or group of persons acting in violation of this order would be deemed to have committed an offence punishable under Section 188 and 177 of the IPC and relevant provisions of the Disaster Management Act 2005, amounting to punishment with imprisonment up to 2 years of fine or with both. Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare in partnership with UNICEF held a capacity building workshop for media professionals and health correspondents of northeastern and southern states on the current COVID situation in India on July 1st. Media professionals and health correspondents of Assam, Odisha, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Tripura, Manipur, Nagaland, Sikkim, West Bengal, Telangana, Arunachal Pradesh, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh participated in the workshop virtually. R.T. Ahuja, Additional Secretary of the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, addressed a workshop which was attended by more than 200 journalists and senior officials of DD News, All India Radio, Press Information Bureau of various states. She thanked all the media professions for their sustained efforts in the fight against COVID-19. She said that media persons are major influencers of society. They should encourage people to vaccinate and bust myths and fake news. She urged media persons to highlight positive stories and role models so that continuous positive reinforcement can take place. She also highlighted the issue of mental health during COVID and requested media persons to address it through their messaging, emphasizing the need to follow COVID-appropriate behavior. She said that the second wave is still not over. Giving a brief snapshot of the COVID strategy adopted by the Government of India, Shri Lav Agarwal, Joint Secretary, Union Health Ministry, highlighted the issue of community mobilization and behavior change communication. He said that there are three important components of the fight against COVID: community ownership of COVID-appropriate behavior, evidence-based reporting and busting myths on COVID, and vaccination. Highlighting the India-specific challenges, he added that the Government of India has followed a proactive, preemptive, graded approach for fighting the COVID pandemic. Giving a detailed picture of efforts and initiatives taken by the government, he underlined that India achieved a 35.6 times growth in testing facilities, with 2,675 testing facilities in the country currently, as opposed to only 75 labs pre-lockdown. Total isolation beds, O2 and non-O2, increased to more than 18.12 lakhs as compared to 10,180 before lockdown. ICU beds increased to more than 1.21 lakh as compared to just 2,168 in the initial phases of the pandemic. He said that availability of N95 and PPE kits increased to more than 14.6 million and 10.2 million respectively. From no manufacturers in March 2020, India now has 1,100 indigenous manufacturers of PPE kits. Acknowledging media as an important stakeholder for fighting vaccine hesitancy, he added that more than 33.5 crore vaccine doses have been administered in India. He urged media persons to create a Jan Andolan by featuring role models and community heroes. Besides various reasons for vaccine hesitancy, which may be local and could vary for different community groups, the workshop highlighted adverse event following immunization, or AEFI, its management and the best practices while reporting on AEFI. Various queries of the media persons were also addressed during the workshop. Niti Aayog member V.K. Paul on Friday said both doses of vaccines provide at least 98% protection from COVID-19 death, citing a study done by the Postgraduate Institute of Medical Education and Research, Chandigarh, in association with the Punjab government.
A real-life study has been conducted on police personnel of the state. The study is very simple. 4,868 police personnel were not vaccinated, and out of them, 15 died of COVID-19, which translates to 3.08 per thousand, Dr. Paul said. Out of 35,856 police personnel who received one dose of the vaccine, 9 died, which translates to 0.25 per thousand. A total of 42,720 police personnel received both doses of the vaccine, and 2 among them died, which translates to 0.05 per thousand. When we interpret these numbers, we find that one dose offers 92 protection from death, while both doses offer a protection of 98%. Dr. Paul said, adding that the study was done on police personnel as they belong to the high-risk group, as the center is claiming to have accelerated the pace of vaccination starting from June 21. Experts are studying the real-life efficacy of the vaccines. The study does not include the number of police personnel who got a breakthrough infection after getting vaccinated, Dr. Paul said. Commenting on the third wave of COVID-19, Dr. Paul said, "That is not in our hand. We must have all the preparation regarding infrastructure in rural areas, arrangement for children, IC beds, medicines, etc. But our attempt would be to stall any new outbreak. And if we are disciplined, then this wave will not come."
2 days after bodies of 5 members of a Dalit family were exhumed from a field in Nemavar in Madhya Pradesh's Dewas district, Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan on Thursday announced compensation of Rs 40 lakh for the family under SC/ST Act and said the case will be tried in a fast-track court, even as opposition leader Kamal Nath of the Congress demanded a CBI inquiry. The Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan said that the incident is inhuman and has shaken him. He has asked police to take strict action against the culprits and run the case in fast-track court. The bodies were dug up from an 8-foot pit on a field owned by the accused Surendra Singh Chauhan, police said. Police learned that they had been killed and buried after detaining Surendra and questioning him. There was SP Shiv Dayal said Surendra confessed to the crime during questioning. According to the SP, Surendra was a friend of Rupali. Following a fight between them, Surendra, with the help of 6 others, allegedly murdered Rupali and her family members. 2 of Surendra's help had dug up a pit for putting up a transformer which was used to bury the 5, Dayal said. He said the accused filled it with urea, fertilizer and salt and covered it with mud. Police began a probe after a missing complaint was registered on May 17 by Rupali's sister Bharti, who was away on work when the crime took place. Bharti and Santosh are only siblings left behind from the Kast family. In a breaking news that's just coming in, the Department of Health and Family Welfare Nagaland has informed that out of 98 samples sent to NIBG Kalyam, West Bengal for whole genome sequencing from across the state earlier last month, 93 have returned positive for the Delta variant. 2 are of the Kappa variant and 1 is of the Alpha variant, and the results of 2 are still awaited. The department further informed that more samples will be regularly sent for whole genome sequencing. Further, the department said that the Delta variant is more infectious and advised the public to strictly adhere to COVID-appropriate behavior and vaccinate oneself. That's all for tonight's English News Bulletin. Do subscribe to our channel and also follow Hornbill TV Official on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube and Instagram. I'm Esther. Have a good evening.